Welcome, Smokey Sassy, to another episode. As you know, there's a big game coming on. I don't know if we're allowed to say the name of the big game. Smokey Sassy legal part never got back to us, so but that's coming in mid-February, and of course, you know, the basketball tournament in March, and you might be looking for some food to bring to parties and stuff. So Armadillo Eggs is a great idea. My wife calls these ostrich balls for some reason, but the real name is Armadillo Eggs. What they are is we have jalapenos stuffed with cream cheese and cheddar cheese with wrapped in breakfast sausage and wrapped in bacon, and then we put a glaze on them. So you can see them here, they are amazing. So let's get to cooking these. It's pretty easy. You know, you do have probably about close to a 2-hour cook time, but they're not too complicated. You get the opportunity to get your hands messy, you know, with the sausage and the bacon. So they're fun to make and they taste delicious. So let's get all going and preparing these.
You know what? And stop, everybody. Before we show you, I want you to all stop for a minute and subscribe and notify.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Make sure you do that before we proceed forward.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
The first step of making armadillo eggs is pretty much the same as making jalapeno poppers. And we actually have a video from last year that how to make jalapeno poppers. So this is going to be very familiar. What I have is a block of cream cheese that softened. I let it sit out for a couple hours to get it soft. And I probably got about 4 ounces of shredded cheese. And we're just going to dump that in there. And then I'm using, you can use any kind of barbecue you want. I'm using Hook's Smokey Sweetness. I think we've used this before on here. Again, this one doesn't have a lot of kick to it. And literally you just, I eyeball it, I don't measure just how much I want. And then you're going to mix this up. You can use a spoon, but I put the gloves on. I'm just going to use my hands.
Yeah, that's the best way to mix it up.
That is the best way.
I love the smell of this.
It's so good. And really, seasoned cream cheese is amazing. Oh. It's kind of my love language, to be honest with you. This is so good. All right, so I got it all mixed in here together. So I hauled these jalapenos out. I cut off the ends, and then I took out the seeds and the veins. And I actually found with these, because these were pretty big jalapenos, I used a spoon with a flat end, and I just went in there, scraped all the sides out. It pretty much came out, and I rinsed it off. So getting rid of the seeds and the veins will help it out. The first couple I tried using a paring knife. It was just too sharp. So really the dullness of the spoon back worked a lot better than using a paring knife. So there's a little tip for you guys.
And I think it's also good to mention, wear gloves when you do this. Yeah,
wear gloves. Whenever I work jalapenos, I always wear gloves. That's usually one lesson you learn the hard way once.
Yeah.
You don't do it again. Some people will, you know, just spoon this stuff in here. Again, I'm already messy. I'm just going to push it in. Just fill it by hand. So I took the jalapenos. I did wipe off the outsides because I had no cheese from when I was manhandling them. So now comes the fun part. We're going to wrap them in sausage. I just got some breakfast sausage here. Just a regular breakfast sausage that you get. It's not even Jimmy Dean's, just some off-brand one. And then I have the bacon. We're gonna wrap them in bacon after we do the sausage. This is the Costco. I got like the regular cut or the thinner cut, just because I want to try to get a little bit crispier, so I don't need the thick cut.
Okay.
And I love thick cut bacon, but for something like this or meatloaf or something, I go with the thin cut.
Okay, and I like it when it's crispy.
The first thing we do is grab a chunk of sausage here. These are pretty big jalapenos. Just kind of flatten it in your hand here. You just want to cover the whole pepper as evenly as possible. Looks like I'll need a little bit more. Let's see if I can squeeze it. You want complete coverage. So actually That was pretty good. So it looks like an armadillo egg. I don't know, armadillos don't lay eggs. My wife calls them ostrich balls. Don't know why, I don't know if ostriches have balls, but these are armadillo eggs. You know, it's kind of like a football scene.
They're gigantic.
Football size or shape. So again, get nice even on the sausage. And then we're gonna take one of our strips of bacon. Actually, you'll use 2 on each one, probably. And just wrap it in bacon.
Bacon, bacon, bacon.
And there you go. There's the first one done. We got 6 more to do, so we'll do those real fast and we'll season them and put them on the grill. So our armadillo eggs are all covered in bacon. They're just about ready to go on. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more of the barbecue seasoning.
That's like magic dust.
Magic dust. Dust those eggs. Just a little bit. And then I'm actually going to put them on the smoker on this rack just because it's easier to carry.
That makes sense.
So
yeah.
we're going to put it on the smoker. I have the smoker going at 275 degrees. I'm using the Lumberjack Supreme blend. And like I said, 275, I'll poke them, make sure they're at temperature. The cheese should be all melted and stuff, and we'll pull them after an hour and a half or so, but we'll come back when they're done. Our armadillo eggs are cooking on the smoker. They're getting to the point where we're going to check it for temperature. Most people will glaze them with barbecue sauce. This time though, I'm trying something a little bit different. So I've never tried this, you know, so we'll see how it tastes real time. I have the Sriracha ketchup glaze that I use for meatloaf. So I'm going to create this real fast and glaze them with that. My recommendation, whatever you choose, because you have the jalapeno in there and you have the seasoning, probably go for something sweet to offset the saltiness of the bacon and stuff. So whatever you do choose, make it a little sweeter.
Or you can do both, right?
Or you can do both.
And test it out yourself.
Test it out myself. So what I'm gonna do is I got a half a cup of ketchup in here already. And then I got a quarter cup of brown sugar tightly packed. I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit of the same seasoning that we used earlier for the cream cheese. You know, you can put as much little as you want in there. And then I have a quarter cup of whiskey. Obviously this is optional. I mean, it's not really optional in this house, but you can decide if you want it. Just add a little bit of sweetness to it. And then I'm just gonna do a couple chugs, not real official measuring of Worcestershire sauce.
You know, AJ, I really like the fact though that you're using an ingredient throughout the whole thing to tie it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smoky sweetness. And then this is also optional, is the Sriracha. You can use any hot sauce you want or not use hot sauce. Again, I'm just eyeballing it there. And then I'm just gonna mix it together. I'm gonna break up the sugar first. And then I'll just use the whisk to stir it. So our eggs are getting pretty close to temperature. We'll bring them in real fast and brush them with this and put them back out for a few minutes.
Oh, this is gonna be so good.
So I pulled our eggs off. I did turn up the temperature for the last 10 minutes to 400 degrees on the smoker, just to get a little crunchier on the bacon.
Oh yeah, they look beautiful though.
They are beautiful. So we're just gonna add one more thing. We're gonna glaze them with the glaze we just made. I'm gonna be awfully generous on it.
Oh yes, please be generous.
And then I'm actually going to do 2 of these with just some regular barbecue sauce that I have. Just some stuff in the refrigerator, some Sweet Baby Ray's or something.
Yeah, just for those. Oh, you know what though, AJ? I know we're not tasting, but this one just said.
So here are armadillo eggs.
Or big balls.
Or ostrich balls, whatever you want to call it. Let's slice into one of these. You hear the crunch from the jalapeno.
Oh yeah.
The cheese, like it's gooing out.
Ooh, and the steam.
Look at that. The folks at home see it.
Yeah.
You want to give it a taste?
Absolutely.
Just cut this one here. There we go.
Do you want to cut this one a little bit smaller? Because I'm not putting that whole thing in my mouth on the camera. After you guys aren't here.
Should have grabbed napkins, but so good. Actually, the jalapenos cooked perfectly on this. So what I did to cook it, it cooked for an hour and a half. I stuck the probe in, it said it was 153, so I cranked it to 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, and that got me over the temperature. And then so we brought them in and we basted them, or not basted, but put the sauce on them, and I put it back in for another 10 minutes exactly. And this is how they came out, and they came out perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Obviously your jalapenos, ours were like, jalapenos on steroids, so they were huge. If you got smaller ones, it'll take a little less cooking time, but always cook the temperature and you won't go wrong usually.
And they're not really that spicy, folks. They're not.
No, they're not. In fact, I was kind of worried when I was tasting that sriracha sauce that maybe I kind of put a little too much sriracha in it, but and after with all the other flavors, it was just perfect. So anyway, this is a great recipe for the big game. If you got to bring over a treat or something, I guarantee these will be a hit.
Any potluck.
Or any potluck, or hell, you can just make it because you want them, right? They're good. So make sure you like us and subscribe. Leave comments and tell us what your favorite big game treat is. I'd love to hear some ideas. We're always looking for new ideas. Give this one a try and let us know what you think of the recipe. And we'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, taste, savor, and enjoy. See what happens when I'm eating?
That's right.